Hello race fans, and this is Anthony with BBSN. What better way to celebrate the 4th of July, red, white, and blue, than with a red, white, and blue racing video. So we are here for race number 9 on the 2018 SCRAM circuit, and this will be the Lit Energy Drink 600 held at the Eastern Seaboard Speedway. And through 8 races, there have been some changes up top. Trevor Trostel, the Terminator, has struggled the last couple of times out and has fallen to 3rd place. He's been overtaken by the Queen of SCRAM, Julie Justice, who now leads with 471 points, followed by the Snooker, Clark Snook, in 2nd place, 11 points behind. And rounding out the top 10, as you can see, Disco Stu Urich, Cam Croyle, Brooks Bilovich, Craig Greco, Kerry K-Fab Cacciola, Pete McAtee, and Joey Plonka in the 10th spot. Some other drivers in interesting spots. Jordy Pettis, one of the young guns of the circuit, is stuck in 19th place. He really just hasn't strung anything consistent together. He has had a pole and only 2 top 10 finishes, however. And Evan High-Tech Utech down in 34th place. He actually has a top 3 finish, but has been very inconsistent outside of that. And down at the bottom, of course, the fan favorite Moochomania, Mooch Thomas, and Thomas has really fallen upon hard times. He is sitting in 45th place, which would not qualify him to even run in the final race of the season. Others down there, Marty Moen, and Moen is engaged again in a feud with Austin Bigler. This is the 2nd time they feuded this year, and they had issues last week at the Dot Cola 400, and that has carried over. And in addition to that, the Alabama badass Billy Brett in the 88 car, he is again on the fuming list. And if you remember last race, he kind of got into some hot water over some comments he made, and ESPN Race Week did some interviews with other drivers talking about who they felt was the dirtiest or most difficult driver to get along with, and Brett's name continued to come up on that. He has taken offense and comes into the Lit Energy Drink 600 with a carryover bad attitude, and he in an interview this week basically had to be bleeped 3 times and accidentally spit tobacco juice on the shoes of an ESPN reporter. So he continues to make friends, but that will land him our 2nd TV spot behind last week's race winner, Parnell Drake. So with the leaderboard out, we will get to selecting the rest of our TV drivers. And for this race, we will have, in addition to those 2, a total of 7, so 5 more. And the Terminator, Trevor Trostel, he is already a gold trophy driver, but he is our first. 2nd is Kenny Hicks, one of the also ran, so he gets a good opportunity to qualify. KJ Nakashima, the youngster who does not have much funding on his team, but has made a lot of fans with his skillful race running. Randy Kendrick, and Kendrick, another of the probably not so popular drivers on the SCRAM circuit. He is known for being extremely aggressive on the track. And our final TV driver is Jeff Daly Jr. So we will get our TV cards out and commence the qualifying round. 86 and 1663. A couple of changes to the 98 team, and that is the team of Nick Fenstermacher has made a change, and Shannon Reinke, or Chase Fetterman, sorry. Shannon Reinke will get the start for that team today. And also on the 55 team, who has had little to zero luck this season, we will have a change as the Brazilian Raul De Hoya gets the opportunity to qualify, and that will be his first time attempting to qualify for a race this season. So we are set, and with that, Trevor Trostel, we will see how he does. So TV Week qualifying 53 for Trostel, and that is going to be tire problems during qualifying replacement D. So Trostel with a great opportunity to get a pole position, instead ends up in the first spot in the bubble stack. So next up will be Kenny Hicks, and Hicks 33, and that's going to go to TV Event X. 11 will go to TV Event Y. See if we can get to the rest of the alphabet. We don't. 24, cameo appearance in episode of popular TV show, and in this case, he appeared in Grey's Anatomy as a race car driver who suffered severe injuries on the track. Probably not good for his career, but some people, including my wife, like that show, so maybe increasing his fanship there. And that was released coinciding with race week, so he's going to get a placement C, which that will be the blue dye position. That's actually a non-trophy driver, sorry. Non-trophy driver goes to the top of the bubble stack, so he's actually going to get in front of Trostel. That will get him in the race unless something extremely out of the ordinary happens. So KJ Nakashima, and Nakashima 61, and that's going to be driver does phone-in interview on National Sports Radio Show, placement C. So Trostel goes to the Nakashima goes to the 3 position in the middle group. A decent qualifying spot for him. Randy Kendrick, and Kendrick a 21. And 21, sponsor event in Race City features autograph session with the driver, placement C. And Kendrick, trophy driver, gains the blue dye position in the middle group. So he is in 18th. Still looking for our pole position, Jeff Daly Jr. And Jeff Daly Jr. a 26. 26, hot week and hot laps, placement A plus performance chip. So he is not a blue trophy driver. Silver or bronze gains blue dye position in top group, and he will get a performance chip. So he goes in the number 7th spot, and a chip out of the gate. And now the Alabama Badass, he has been the subject of much controversy, and he goes to TV Event X. That's going to continue. And 54, that is going to be crew reorganization produces improved performance, placement B plus a performance chip. So apparently Billy Brett is not only mad at his fellow racers, mad at ESPN, he's taking it out on his crew as well. So placement B, he's going to get the blue dye position in the top group. And that will also get him, of course, a performance chip. So he is up in the 4th spot. So I wouldn't say new and improved attitude, but his improved bad attitude has paid off this week. And finally, Parnell Drake, last week's race winner, and he rolls a 14. And positive fan interaction during race week and solid times, placement B, gold driver placement A. So he's going to get the blue dye position in the top group, and he will qualify 3rd. So top group is filling up, and we will now go to our fast qualifiers, and we have 5 of those. All right, our first fast TV driver is Wayne Big Sky Montana, and Montana from Redondo Beach, California, gets the pole position this week. And a big upshoot for the 99 team. Next up is Gary Pine. And Gary Pine, bronze driver, highest position in middle group, so he will go to the 8th spot. And Mark Forth, a big break for him, and he is going to get the next position in the bottom group. So he's in at number 20. Next up, Pete McAtee, and McAtee has highest position in top group. He qualifies number 2. And finally, Craig Greco, and Greco is going to join him at the 4th spot in the top group. So we're down to 1 spot in the top group, and now our slow drivers, and there are 8 of them, and we will undoubtedly collect some casualties there. Hopefully Mooch Thomas is not among them, as his fans are out in force. Mooch Mania t-shirts are everywhere over the racetrack. And Blake Schlegel. And Schlegel has had a tough time this season. He does not qualify for the race, so he is the first to get a DNQ. And nothing new for the 83 team, as they have struggled all season. Evan High-Tech UTech, and he's going to get next position in the bubble stack. Clark Snook, and the snooker, he gets the next position in the bottom group, so a poor week of qualifying puts him in 21st place. Dangerous Denny Baker, and Baker, he is going to go next position in the bubble stack. Marlon McGarry, next position in bottom group. Chris Wynn, bubble stack. Joey Plonka, bubble stack. And finally, Shannon Reinke, and making his first attempt for the 98 team, gets a DNQ. So that change did not work out very well. All right, so everyone else has normal qualifying, which means there may be a few drivers in the bubble stack already, so we will see how that holds up for Mooch Thomas. So gold goes to the last position in the top group, silver goes to middle, and bronze to bottom. No trophy goes to bubble stack. And Jordy Pettis, JP, gets the last top group position. Vanover, 23rd. Mooch Thomas, he's in the bubble stack. There is a slim, albeit very slim chance. Chuck Tafaro goes to the middle group. Donnie Schrupp, he will probably not qualify, nor will Ralph Roach. And Robbie Petrosky gets in the middle group. Raul de Hoyos, and the new 55 driver, will probably not make this race either. Kurt Bryce in the top group is full. He goes to 11. Austin Bigler, who is feuding with Marty Moen, who has not come up yet, so he will probably not qualify, and that feud will fizzle again. Cam Croyle goes to the middle group, and there's the aforementioned Mr. Moen. To the bubble stack, Aaron Hartley, bottom group, so not a very good week for the Dick Exum protege. Sonny Swain goes to the bottom. Brooks Bilovich, he gets the 15th spot in the middle group, which is filling up. Corey Wallace, the stack. Kevin Pettis, 26th position. Disco Stu Urich, and Urich goes to the middle group. Ray Bob Walker joins him there. And KFAB Kerry Cacciola, he goes to the middle group as well. So trophy drivers, bottom, non-trophy bubble stack. Rossi, Monica Merrick. And there is probably not going to be room for Mooch, which will leave some disappointed Mooch Mania fans. Vic Holder, Jason Leonard, Lonnie Lane, and the bottom group is filling up fast here. Greg Carl, Nick Fenstermacher, he will watch from the sidelines. Graham Pleasant. And the queen of SCRAM, Julie Justice, she has had a couple of inconsistent qualifying weeks. She's down in 34th spot. Paul Chen will not qualify. Alex Hodge, and Sean Hashhagen. So we've got 8 spots left for the bubble group. Let's see who gets those. And our TV drivers, Kenny Hicks and Trevor Trostel, 36th and 37th respectively. Evan Hightech UTech, Dangerous Denny Baker, Chris Wynn, Joey Plonka. Mooch Thomas is in the field at 42nd. The crowd goes wild, and Donnie Schrupp gets the final qualifying spot. So the others who did not qualify are Ralph Roach, Raul De Hoyos, who is the third head of that trifecta on the 55 team, Marty Moen, which means his feud with Austin Bigler is once again going to fizzle. So maybe he just shouldn't bother. Corey Wallace, and Nick Fenstermacher, Paul Chen, and Alex Hodge. So Mooch Mania is running wild here at the Eastern Seaboard Motor Speedway. And we are ready to go. The cars are in the pits, out of the pits on the track now. Engines going. So gentlemen, start your dice. And here we go. The Lit Energy Drink 600 is underway, and this is going to be the top group. And we're going to have a trouble check again on the first lap. Oh geez. So not a good start. And again, if 3 are collected here, we will go to the second group. If 6 are collected, we'll take this all the way through the field. Hopefully that doesn't happen. So our pole position leader, Wayne Montana, needs a 7 or better, and there is no adjustment to either repair or escape on this track. Montana's good. McAtee a 10, he's good. An 8 or better for Parnell Drake, he is fine. Craig Greco needs a 9 or better, he's good. Billy Brett a 7, and he can use a chip here because it's a trouble, not a problem. He's going to have to. So that saves his bacon. Jordy Pettis, 9 or better, he's good, and 9 or better for Jeff Daly. And everybody is good. So a little bumping as we come out of the gate there, but no damage. And we hit on to turn number 2. And top group again, 10 is going to be the smart quality. And we only have 2 drivers with the smart quality, so that will be Greco. And going after Montana, Montana has a 3 brake pedal with the bonus and his regular, so we'll take a blue 4 or better. So Greco on the smart check. And Greco, he's going to get it done, so he immediately vaults up into first place on the second lap. Pete McAtee hot on his tail, and this will take a 5 or better. And McAtee not going to get it done. So Montana, his lead lasts all of a single lap. And heading into lap 2, 66, Greg Greco is our new race leader. I'm sorry, turn 3. Mistake. Turn 3, here we go. And we are down to the bottom group, and that will be a heat check. So we will see for our check for the hotheads in this group, and heat all the way up to Kenny Hicks to make the first opportunity to move up. And going for the middle group, the 5th position, and this will be even. So 5th position, Disco Stu Urich, and he fails his gas pedal check. Queen of SCRAM, Julie Justice, is next. She's going to fail her gas pedal check as well. Up to Greg Carl. And Carl, he's going for the even 2 position, which will be Robbie Petrosky, and he's going to get it done. So Carl makes the first big move of the race up into the 10th spot in Robbie Petrosky's place, who bounces back to the middle of the last group. And the snooker in an unfamiliar position, Actually going the wrong way. Jason Leonard goes next. And Leonard, he's going for the even spot in the second group, which is Greg Carl, who just got there. And Leonard, he is going to get it done. A roll of 2 on the blue die is sufficient. So Leonard right on Carl's tail, and he knocks him back. And all the way down to Aaron Hartley, and shocker, the Dick Exum protege has the heat quality. Who would have thought that? And he's going after the 4th position, and the 15 or the 95 car Brooks Bilovich, and a roll of 5 on the blue die is going to get it done. So young Aaron Hartley making some money moves early here, as he has Cardi B blasting on his headphones. Probably not, but Clark Snook, and again in an unfamiliar position, looking to get into the middle group, going after the even car in the number 2 spot, which is Jason Leonard. And we've had a lot of action around the 10th spot. Snook is going to pass the gas pedal check, and 3 will be enough to supplant Leonard up there. So Leonard still better off than he was, but back into 24th first space as we head to turn number 5. And turn 5, middle group, and that is going to be both a problem and a control check. So we will go for the problem first. And 35. Middle group 35 is going to be driver number 3 odd, and that is Austin Bigler. So Bigler entered the race in a feud. It did not pan out, as Mullen did not qualify. Clutch problem, roll for repair. So again, no adjustment here, and if Bigler does fail, he's going to go to the back regardless. But remember, when there is a problem or anything that causes a driver to be caught up now, we are using the lap down rule since we have the expanded game board. So he will go to last place, and he has a pit rating of B. And in the first third, a 9 or less will save him, and he is good. But he is going to go to the back of the track and be a lap down. So we will move everyone up here. And then attempting to come up, Lonnie Lane, Mark Forth, needs a 3, doesn't get it. Jason Leonard a 4, doesn't get it. Marlon McGarry, the veteran, he knows what to do. So McGarry up into 19th spot, and everyone else will move up. And of course, to designate a lap down card, the driver's card will be turned upside down. They can get back into the lead lap. Passing their pit rating on a wave around lap under yellow flag, or if they are part of a challenge, they have to better the race leader, and that's a little bit different than the rules on the website. That's a house rule. And logic there is that you'd have to get past the race leader anyway, and he's going to kind of make the decision if he's going to be nice or not. So you would have to beat him, whatever his bonuses are for the particular check. So on to turn number 6 now, and we are 1 turn away from a pit top group, and 6 is going to be, and I apologize, I actually did not do the control check. So a little sputtering here by the race officials. Thankfully we did not go too much further, so control check. And Marlon McGarry, who just entered the middle group, is going to give it a shot to move up. And he's going after Parnell Drake and 2. And Drake not going to be able to hold him off with only the 1 brake pedal bonus. So McGarry, a big jump up into the top group. And Disco Stu Urich, and Urich Amongst our top 5 drivers, and he's going after the number 3 spot, Wayne Montana, and Montana fights him off with a roll of 3 or less, but Uric has 4, so he's up into the top group. Cam Croyle, and Croyle going after Marlon McGarry, and he's not going to get it done with a roll of 1 on the blue die. Kurt Bryson going after Pete McAtee, and he's going to fail his gas pedal check. Chuck Tafaro, and Tafaro going after Marlon McGarry as well. 2's not going to get it done on the blue die. Kerry K-Fab Cacciola, and Cacciola also going to test Marlon McGarry up there, and Cacciola, who has come on after a very slow start to the season, is up into 3rd place. The veteran Ray Bob Walker, also called Dixie by many of the drivers on the track, and he's right on Cacciola's tail, and he bumps him back to the middle group. So a lot of action taking place here as the disposition of the top group is changing quite a bit, and Aaron Hartley, the youngster, fails his gas pedal check. KJ Nakashima, and Nakashima, who has run some very solid races, he's going after Jordy Pettis. A roll of 3 on the blue die is not going to get it done, however, as that's exactly what Pettis has. And Clark Snook at double control, so he's going to make a run at the race leader if you can get up into that top group, going after the 6th spot, and he does not pass the gas pedal check, so we'll get one more crack at it. And a roll of 1 on the blue die is going to be a big no, so the snooker denied as he tries to get into the top group. And finally, Gary Pine misses the gas pedal check. So now we will move on to turn number 6, 1 turn away from our first pit stop, and we have our first duel of the day. And 6 going to be the number 6 driver in the top group, and that is Jeff Daly Jr. So he has a performance chip to waste, and he has 5 for his gas pedal, so he's going after Pete McAtee. And Daly Jr. fails it. He's going to have to spend the performance chip. And a wasted challenge there as we head to our first pit stop, turn number 7. And that is going to be the middle group. And the 1 and the 4 cars swap. So the Alabama Badass breathing down the race leader's neck in number 2. The number 2 spot. And Hartley and Big Sky Montana move up to 8th and 9th, while Tufaro and Pine are jettisoned back to 15th and 14th respectively. And let's roll for some performance chips. So Hartley, he's going to need a 6 or better, doesn't get it. Montana, a 9 or better, he's good. Snooker, 9 or better, and Snook doesn't get one. Bryson, 7, he's good. KJ Nakashima needs a 4, no dice. Cam Croyle needs an 8, nope. Gary Pine, a 5, doesn't get it. Tufaro, a 3, and Tufaro catching lightning in a bottle there. Cacciola needs an 8 or better, and K-Fab gets his. And Randy Kendrick, and an interesting story is brewing between Kendrick and Clark Snook, which we will get into as the race goes along. And he does not get his fast pit. Marlon McGarry, he's got a chip. And finally, Parnell Drake needs a 5, and not even close. So let's see who challenges our race leader coming out of the pits, and it's going to be none other than the Alabama Badass Billy Brett. And could he possibly have a lead? He needs a 4 or better, and Brett is going to lead starting with lap number 8. So Greco leads 3 through 7, and the newly ultra-aggressive Alabama Badass Billy Brett is in the lead as we head to turn number 8. And 5 is going to be group number 3, and this will be a control check. So again, we will start, and this actually might benefit Austin Bigler here because he has to, again, go after the leader. And to pass Brett, will take a 4 on the blue die to get back on the lead lap. And doesn't do it. So Donnie Schrupp, and Schrupp going after the 5th position even in the top group. And that's going to be Kerry Cacciola, and Cacciola has a 2 in his brake pedal defense, so he's going to have to spend a chip to fight off Schrupp. So the journeyman forces a loss of a chip, and Mooch Thomas. Thomas has, because he is the red triangle, he has to make this check, and that's going to take a 2 or less on the red die, and he doesn't do it. Mooch. And he is a pit rating of E, which means on the first lap a roll of 7 or better to stay in the race. And Thomas, and he hangs on. So the Mooch man fails his check, but he is going to stay to race another lap. And Joey Plonka up next, going after the 5th position odd, which is Randy Kendrick. And 2, not going to get it done as Kendrick has 2 brake pedals. Wynn, Baker, UTEC, all the way up to Trevor Trostel, and the Terminator looking to jump up into the top group. Passes the gas pedal check. He's going after the 5th spot odd, which again is Kendrick. And he's going to get it done with a roll of 4 on the blue die. So Trevor Trostel going to make up for a couple of bad performances. He is up into 15th place. And that takes us to Sean Hashhagen. And Hashhagen is going after the 4 spot Gary Pine, and a 6 does not pass his gas pedal check. Queen of SCRAM, Julie Justice, not used to spending so much time at the bottom of the pack. She's not going to be there any further as she goes after Nakashima, and she is going to get it done easily. And she has double control, so she's going to make a big run for the top group. And nobody up there with performance chips to fight her off. Let's see what she does. Justice going after the 5th spot, and that is Jordy Pettis. A roll of 3 on the blue die, and Pettis is unable to fight her off. So Justice makes a huge run all the way up from 33rd to 6th position. And she used a interesting strategy, hugging the bottom of the track. Graham Pleasant up next. And Pleasant going after the 5th spot. And it's going to be Cacciola, a roll of 3 on the blue die. And Cacciola unable to fight him off. So Pleasant now jumps up into 16th position. And we head down to Lonnie Lane. Lonnie Lane does not pass the gas pedal check. Greg Carl also needs a 4. He does not pass the gas pedal check. Monica Merrick. And Merrick going after the 6th spot even. And that's going to be Marlon McGarry. She passes, and McGarry's going to use his performance chip to fight her off. Up to KP, Kevin Pettis, the older and less talented of the Pettis brothers. But he's going to make a move here going after the odd spot, which is Kurt Bryson in the number 2 position. And Bryson is going to have to use a performance chip to fight off Pettis' challenge. Brooks Bilovich, and Bilovich, he will be going after 6 even, Marlon McGarry, who fights him off with a brake pedal. Lucas Vanover. Vanover is going after Gary Pine and 4, and he's going to take Pine's place. So Vanover making a nice jump up from 22nd to 14th. And last 2, Jason Leonard. Leonard going after 4 even, and that is Lucas Vanover, so his time there was short-lived. And letting Vanover do the work and then jumping on his prey to take his spot. And finally, Mark 4th, and 4th going after the 2 spot even, and that's the snooker. And Clark Snook, he has the double control and 2 gas pedals, so he's going to fight off a very good challenge from 4th. And we are done with turn number 8. heading to turn number 9. And we're almost a third of the way through this race. And bottom group again, this will be a smart check. So smart, and that is skill number 5. So Chris Wynn's going to get the first crack at the middle group. And Wynn going after the 6th spot, and that's going to be Marlon McGarry. And McGarry not going to be able to fight that off, so Wynn vaults up into the middle group. McGarry back in an unfamiliar position. Next up, Dangerous Denny Baker, and Baker fails a gas pedal check. Evan High-Tech U-Tech up next, the 10 car. Gets a gas pedal check, and he is going after Jason Leonard, and a roll of 2. And it's going to be enough to get U-Tech up into the middle group as Leonard is bouncing back and forth between the bottom and middle group here early. Randy Kendrick, and Kendrick, his problem with Clark Snook as he fails the gas pedal check is some disagreements over the nickname Sandman. Kendrick was known as a Sandman in his earlier days, and last race, Snook was wearing a t-shirt that somehow offended Kendrick, who was known to be sometimes a little oversensitive. So we'll just keep an eye on that. And Kendrick made it very clear that he is the Sandman on the SCRAM circuit, and that anyone who uses that nickname should use it only on him. So we'll see how that goes. 3. And that's moving up to Cam Croyle's spot, and a 6 is easily going to get that done. So K-Fab, Kerry Cacciola back up into the middle group. And we head down to Robbie Petrosky, no. And Vic Holder is our next smart driver. Holder, he's going after Chris Wynn, and Wynn has a smart trait, so a 1 on the blue die is going to fail. Tom Rossi. Rossi going after Kurt Bryson, and a roll of 5 on the blue die going to get it done. Rossi up into the middle group. So a whole bunch of movement early on in this race, and that will take us through that challenge. And we head to turn 10 and the final turn of the first third of the race, and again to the bottom group we go. And this will be a Duran Duran reflex check. And up in the top group, the Alabama badass Billy Brett is smiling away. There's a little Leonard Skinner blaring over his pit radio, and comfortably in first place at this point in time. So for Austin Bigler to get back on the lead lap, Brett does not have reflex or brake pedal, so it's only going to take a blue 3 if he passes his gas pedal check, and he can't do it. He's still stuck a lap down. So Joey Plonka looking to move up into the middle group, and Plonka going after Graham Pleasant, and he fails his gas pedal check. All the way up to Kenny Hicks, the 60 car, and Hicks, a surprise on the TV driver board this week. He's going after Trevor Trostel, and Trostel, a roll of blue 6, is not going to be able to fight him off. So the Terminator somewhat embarrassed as Kenny Hicks makes him look foolish and bounces him back to the bottom group. Sean Hashhagen. And Hashhagen going after Jordy Pettis, but he fails his gas pedal check. Cam Croyle. Croyle's going to go after Evan U-Tech in a blue 3. And that is going to get it done as U-Tech has 2 to fight him off. So Croyle making a move now. Robbie Petrosky up next. Petrosky fails a gas pedal check. Takes us down to Greg Carl, who fails his gas pedal check. Vic Holder fails his gas pedal check. So a lot of drivers having problems with the throttle here, and Kevin Pettis is another one who does. Double reflex for Brooks Bilovich. And Bilovich, he's going after Graham Pleasant, and Pleasant has a reflex, but a blue 5 is easily going to get it done. So Bilovich looking to emulate Julie Justice's earlier run here and take another crack at the top spot. Here he goes. And he's going after Craig Greco. And a 3, and Greco only has a 1 bonus. So look at Bilovich. Bilovich, a big jump, and he is now on the tail of the Alabama badass Billy Brett. And looking to get some of that action. Gary Pine. And Pine fails the gas pedal check, and that does it. So we are on to turn 11 into the second third of the race. And wear and tear starting to show up on the cars here as we go to the top group, and we have a problem. So we will roll that first, and it will then be a smart check. 42 on the problem finder chart, top group. Or actually, it will be the, never mind, second driver, Ray Bob, or fourth driver, Pete McAtee, and 42. 42, brake trouble, roll for repair. So in the second third of the race, McAtee, his pit crew rating is A. And he just needs a 9 or better to stay in the race here. And he is good, but he had to make the repair, so he's going to get bumped to the back. And looking to move up from the second group, Aaron Hartley needs a 4, and he gets it. So Hartley up. And everybody in the middle group jumps up a spot. And still 2 performance chips back there, which will come into play at some point, obviously. And looking to move up from the bottom group, Mark Forth needs a 3, and Forth moves up. So a big drop there for Pete McAtee as he joins Austin Bigler a lap down, and they will need to find a way to remedy that situation if they are to stay relevant in this one. There's been a lot of opportunities for that third group, and that's something you cannot always count on. So now we will do a smart check. And first of all, Billy Brett, it's only going to take a 3 on the blue die to pass him. So starting with Aaron Hartley. And Hartley gets it done. So the Alabama Badass leads from lap 8 to 11, and we will have a new leader on lap 12. Julie Justice. And Justice does not have the smart trait, the only one she does not have. Stu Urich has double smart, so Urich will probably end up being our new leader here, and he gets it done right away. And Hartley back into the 4th position. Ray Bob Walker, no. Brooks Bilovich, no. So Disco Stu Urich is our new leader for lap number 12. And for lap 12, we are going to the bottom group again, and a lot of action down there. We're having a star check. So Disco Stu, he does not have the star quality, but it's going to take a 5 on the blue die for our leaders to get back up into the top, or our lap down people to get on the lead lap again. So Pete McAtee, and McAtee passes the gas pedal check, and he gets a 5. So he is going to go up to the lead lap. And Austin Bigler also has a star quality. Let's see if he can also be successful. And both of them back on the lead lap. So that pays off. Donnie Schrupp, who never guessed he would be a star, is next. And Schrupp, he's going after Tom Rossi, and a roll of 5 is going to vault Schrupp. The journeyman up into 10th position. And takes us to Marlon McGarry, who is a double star. And McGarry, he's going after Chris Wynn, and he is up. And McGarry, let's see if we'll have our third driver make a huge jump from bottom to top group. And McGarry, he is going after Julie Justice, and Justice has a star quality and 2 bonuses and or 1 bonus and 2 brake pedals, but a 5 is going to get it done. So McGarry all the way up into the 5th spot, and the Queen of Scram has bounced back to the middle group. Next up, Dangerous Denny Baker, and Baker, he's going after Wayne Montana, and Montana has a star and a brake pedal, so he's going to fight off that challenge. Jason Leonard next, and Leonard going after Kerry Hicks, and a roll of 1. Hicks does not have anything for him, so Leonard going back and forth between the bottom and middle groups, and he is back up to the middle. Trevor Trostel, double star. He fails his first gas pedal check. And he fails both gas pedal checks, so Trostel having some trouble, struggling back there, the Terminator. And Lonnie Lane next. Lane is going after Craig Greco, and a roll of 5 on the blue die is going to get it done. So Lane, not exceptionally skilled at passing, pulls off a nice maneuver here, gets him into the middle group. And next up, Monica Merrick. She will look to follow suit, and she's going after Jordy Pettis, and Pettis, he has a 2 star trait and a brake pedal, but a 3 on the blue die is going to get it done for Monica. So Jordy's woes continue as he's back down into the bottom group, and that takes us up to Sonny Swain. Swain going after Craig Greco, who has a brake pedal. He's going to fight her off. Graham Pleasant next. And Pleasant going after Jason Leonard. And Leonard is not going to have enough to fight Pleasant off. So lots of opportunities in the bottom group, and a lot of drivers taking advantage of them. Let's see if Gary Pine can do his part. And Pine, he's going after Parnell Drake, and a roll of 3, and Pine's going to come up into the middle group as well. So a lot of movement there as we head to turn 13. And going to be the top group, and this will be another smart check. Billy Brett, no. Daly, no. And Marlon McGarry. And again, Uric is a double smart, so it's going to take a roll of 6 on the blue die to even get up there. Aaron Hartley next. No. And that's going to do it. So on to turn number 14. And middle group, finally, a control check. So we will start this off with Mark Forth, and Forth going to move up into the top group, and Forth is going after, well, he fails his gas pedal check. He was going after Bilovich. Gary Pine next, and Pine passes a gas pedal check, and he's going after the Alabama badass Billy Brett and passes him with ease. So Pine, 2 consecutive turns, making some noise there. Next up will be Julie Justice, who has the double control, and she's going after Ray Bob Walker, and Walker, 4, is not going to be able to fight that off. So Justice up into the top group, and she's going to give a crack at Disco Stu Uric, and again going to need a 5 or 6 to get up there, and Uric stones her. Chuck Tafaro will be next, and Tafaro, he's going after Brooks Bilovich, and a 4 and a 5. He's going to get it done and get to keep his performance chip. So next up, Lonnie Lane. Lonnie Lane needs a 3. No. Kerry Cacciola. And Cacciola And he's going to get up there. He's going after Gary Pine. So Pine making up some big ground, but Cacciola swats him back into the middle group. And next up, Monica Merrick. Merrick going after Erin Hartley, and Hartley unable to fight her off. So the makeup of the top group is changing dramatically on this turn. Donnie Schrupp, and Schrupp. And is it possible he's going to crack? He's going right back after Monica Merrick. And a roll of 5 on the blue die, and Schrupp, shockingly, up into 4th place. This is probably the highest he has ever been in a race when he wasn't actually asleep and dreaming about it. So Snooker will be next, and Snoop, double control. And he's going after the 5th spot, Jeff Daly Jr. And a 3 is going to get it done for Snook. And Snook now going to give Disco Stu a run for his money. And again needs a 6 on the blue die. And Urich stones him as well. And finally, Wayne Montana. And Montana will go after Marlon McGarry. And he's going to get it done and keep his performance chip. So that is huge for both Tufaro and Big Sky Montana, as they have a performance chip to take on Disco Stu Urich should they get the opportunity. And that's probably going to be what's needed as we head to turn 15, as Urich is strong in our lead position. And to the bottom group again, and we have trouble. So it's been a clean race so far. We are 15 laps in, halfway through. No calamities yet, but one is about to potentially happen. So starting with Vanover, and things are getting a little scrappy. Here we go. Escape roll 7 or less. Vanover's collected. 8. Parnell Drake hangs on. Justin Leonard hangs on. Swain, good. Jordy Pettis. Pettis barely hangs on, gets sideways, straightens it out. Kurt Bryson, he's okay, avoids Pettis. And Jordy Pettis, the younger, and Pettis is going to be collected. So Kevin pulled out of his. Jordy is collected, and Vic Holder's going to join him. Greg Carl is going to join. So 4 cars now. And that particular section of the track, and 10, Cam Croyle does a half donut, straightens it out, and stays in the race. And Robbie Petrosky does not. So about the middle section of this bottom group here had a lot of congestion, and a lot of drivers are getting collected. Evan Utek. KJ Nakashima uses some artful driving to get out of that. Hashhagen, he's caught up in it. So the list grows, and Trevor Trostel, he's caught up in it. So this could be ugly, folks. Kendrick, he's too mean to get caught up in it. He's good to go. Kenny Hicks barely hangs on. Dangerous Denny Baker barely hangs on. Win is good, so we're going to have a lot of cars go a lap down. Plonk is good. Come on, Mooch. Mooch is good. Tom Rossi's good. Austin Bigler, he is fine. And finally, Pete McAtee, and he's good. So let's move everybody up first of all. So everybody, if they survive their pit check, are going to go a lap down, and we have some big names collected up there. And Mooch Thomas up into 32nd place, Lofty Heights, and Mooch Mania fans are loving it. So trouble check, middle third of the race, a D. Going to need a 6 or better for Vanover, and Vanover is our first casualty. So he does not finish. The 44 car is done. Jordy Pettis, he has a B, and he needs an 8 or better. And Jordy Pettis will not finish this either. So our first big name falls, and a B for Vic Holder. Needs an 8 or better. He is good. So he's going to go a lap down. Greg Carl. Carl needs a 7 or better. He is okay. Robbie Petrosky, a B. 8 or better. He's good. Evan, High Tech, U-Tech, and U-Tech is a B, and he's going to be good as well. Sean Hashhagen, a C, needs a 7. He's okay. And the Terminator, Trevor Trostel, is going to be bringing up the rear, and he is hoping for a 9 or better, and he gets it. So, Lucas Vanover, and the disappointment continues for Jordy Pettis, who's going to finish in 42nd place, just ahead of Vanover. And we head to lap 16, and a pit will be coming up next lap as everyone looks to regroup here. And back group 5 is going to be a star check. And Trostel, he is a double star, so he might be able to parlay this into getting back on the top lap. And again, he has to go after Urich though, and Urich, it's going to take, well, Urich doesn't have a star rating, so it's going to take a 5 or better on the blue die. He gets 2 cracks at it though, and he is back up on the lead lap. And with that, now he's going to get a chance to make an exceptional move and jump up into the second group. And going after Graham Pleasant, a roll of 1, and Pleasant's able to fight that off. That would have been semi-miraculous, so not able to succeed there. Hashhagen, no. U-Tech, no. So Vic Holder is the last of our lap down drivers that has a chance to get back, and he fails the gas pedal check. So we'll just bump them, and up into 36th place at the back of the lead lap now is Trevor Trostel. And Pete McAtee looking to move up into the middle group, and he's going after Marlon McGarry, and McGarry fights him off easily. Austin Bigler is next, and Bigler, he decides to go after Lonnie Lane, who does have the star quality, so 1 on the blue die, and Lane's going to fight him off. So Lane driving well here. Rossi, and Rossi going after Jeff Daly Jr., and a 4 is going to get Rossi back up into the middle group. Mooch Thomas thankfully does not have the star quality, so he doesn't have to risk exploding on the track. Chris Wynn, and Wynn fails the gas pedal check. Dangerous Denny Baker fails his. Cam Croyle, and Croyle going after Aaron Hartley. And Croyle is going to vault up into the 11th spot. And Hartley, a nice run early and settling back into the middle group now. And Sonny Swain. Swain fails her gas pedal check. Jason Leonard. And Leonard's going to get it done, and he goes after Brooks Bilovich. Bilovich does have a single star, but it's not going to be enough to keep Leonard at bay, and Leonard continues to bounce back and forth between the middle and bottom group. And finally, Parnell Drake, and Drake, he's going after Gary Pine, and he's going to move up. So Pine back into 20th spot. And we head into the pits, lap number 17. And this is going to be the top group. So 6 and a 4 will change places, which will be Cacciola and Big Sky Montana. And they will roll for performance chips. So U-Tech needs a 7, or Urich, sorry, gets it. Tufaro needs a 3. Not so lucky this time, Julie Justice a 10. Gets hers. Donnie Schrupp a 3. Nope. Cacciola an 8. Gets his. And Snooker a 9. And Snook is good. And Big Sky Montana a 9 gets him his second, and he has got it. So there's definitely going to be some havoc coming out of the pits here. And challenging will be Chuck Tufaro, and again they both have performance chips. So 5, he does not get it done, and we will roll to see if they lose or keep them, and they both decide to keep them. So heading into turn number 18, Disco Stu Urich maintains the lead. And everybody in that top group has a performance chip except for Donnie Schrupp, who actually should not even be there really. And 3 and 6 middle group, we are going to have a problem first, and that will be a reflex check after that. So let's take care of business first on the problem. Uh, 62 middle group is going to be driver 6 even, and as if the Alabama badass needed another reason to be mad. He now has a problem to contend with. So that problem will be 11 and go to the odd problem chart. 25. Pit crew error. So that new pit crew, which was so lauded at the beginning of the race, moves to the end of the bottom group. It could have been worse, Brett. He's obviously going to be pissed at them. But since he is not he is on the lead lap still, he will move down to 37th place, ahead of the drivers a lap down. So that could have been much, much worse. So moving up will be marked 4th, and Gary Pine needs a 4, and he's up. So Billy Brett, he is not live mic'd by the race crew this week, which is good because they'd be doing a lot of bleeping right now, as he is back into 36th place after an exceptional day qualifying, which saw him start the race in 5th. And now we will do our reflex check, and Gary Pine gets first crack at it. And Pine, he's going to go after Cacciola, and Cacciola has reflex and a star and a bonus, so he's going to fight that off easily. 4th does not have it, Ray Bob Walker. Old Dixie, as they call him, he's going after Chuck Tafaro, and that's going to be enough to get it done, so Tafaro has to spend a performance chip to fight that off. Grant Pleasant will be next. And Pleasant, he's going after double performance chip, Big Sky Montana, and Montana has more than enough to fight off that challenge. Next up to Parnell Drake, and Drake not going to get it done with a 1 on the blue die. Cam Croyle going after the 5th spot, Clark Snook, and Snook with 2 there, and the bonus and reflex fights that off easily. Snook is determined to finish in the top 10 this week. And finally Tom Rossi, our last opportunity, and he's going after Big Sky Montana, and Montana's going to have to use one of those 2 performance chips he has been hoarding to fight off that challenge. And we head to turn number 19, and we are almost 2/3 of the way through this bottom group again in a heat check. So heat, and starting from the lap down drivers, nobody has heat. The Alabama badass, and here he comes back with a vengeance, angry at getting bumped, angry at his pit crew, angry at the world. He is going after Pine, and Brett passes gas pedal check, and Pine does not have anything to fight him off, so Brett continues to drive impressively in this race with his new, more aggressive attitude, as if that was possible. Austin Bigler next, and Bigler known to be a hothead himself, and he's going to come after Lonnie Lane, and a 1 on the blue die. It's going to be enough to get it done, as Lane doesn't see him coming and gets past. And takes us down to Kenny Hicks, and Hicks is going after Jason Leonard, who does have the heat check, but a blue 5 and a 2 on the red die is going to get it done for Hicks. So Hicks running probably his best race of the season thus far, still a long way to go. Randy Kendrick. Randy, call me Sandman Kendrick, fails his gas pedal check. A feud over a nickname, a SCRAM first perhaps. Aaron Hartley. And Hartley passes the gas pedal check, and he is going after Billy Brett, and not the guy you want to make friends with. So Hartley and Brett exchange places, and you can bet Brett will remember that. And we finally head down to Brooks Bilovich, looking to climb back into the middle group, and he fails the gas pedal check. So turn number 20, and we are officially at the 2/3 mark here of the Lit Energy Drink 600. And finally a dual, and that is going to cross over, so there will be a dual and then a fume feud result, and we do have a fuming driver, and we all know who that is, this guy. So 8, number 6 position in middle group. So Hartley in 4th, and Hartley, he's going to give it a shot and take on Marlon McGarry because he does have that heat trait that Exum Racing is famous for. And McGarry's going to have to make a escape check now, and he does not. So right now he's going to be fuming, and if he does not recover, and luckily we're still in the second third of the race, so it's just going to take a 9 or better. And he recovers. So he now, in this situation, basically just some aggressive driving, and he is not going to go. Actually, he does go a lap down. Never mind. So he goes back to the back of the pack, and McGarry is going to go on the fuming list. And looking to move up is Brooks Bilovich, marked 4th. He is not going to chance it with only a 3. So Bilovich will look to move into the middle group. Doesn't do it. Sonny Swain, no. Kevin Pettis. And Pettis trying to get some redemption for the Pettis family since a younger brother, Jordy, is knocked out and on the sideline. And we will now go to the fume feud result. So the Alabama Badass, Mad at the World, and 7. And again, for the Rabbit and Turtle, the Decide or Die, and that's going to be the car in front of him, KJ Nakashima, who's nice to everybody. 7. And Rabbit goes to the bottom. So Brett getting aggressive, bumps Nakashima. He loses a little bit of control, gets loose, and he's going to go to the bottom of the lead lap, and ahead of the drivers that are a lap down still. And actually wrong. Sorry about that. I get caught going the wrong way. Actually, Kurt Bryson. And Bryson, indifferent about him. So he will get bumped back. So Billy Brett, and he is going to add another to his fan club. And I just realized I did not make a save for Lonnie Lane. So Lane, we need an 8 or better, and Lane is out of the race. So Lonnie Lane finishes in 41st place. Too much havoc going on the track to keep track of even at this point. So Billy Brett, again, making a new friend, and we head into the final third of the race and turn number 25. And we actually also blew a yellow turn on that big pile up in the back group. That's what happens when I get away from the game a couple of days. I get rusty. But top group, and we have a heat check. So something is definitely going to happen here. Heat check, Clark Snook has it, and Snook going after Disco Stew, and Urich does not have it, so 5 or better on the blue die, and not successful. Will they spend a performance chip? They do not, so status quo. And Julie Justice is next, and Justice fails her gas pedal check. And will they spend it? And they do. Both have to spend their performance chip. Justice to try and fight here, or pass anyway. Urich to fight her off. So that is going to have a significant impact. And Chuck Tafaro now still needs a blue 6 and not going to get it done. So on to turn number 22 and top lap again, and this will be a smart check. So starting from the back, Big Sky does not have it, and Snooker does, a 5 on the blue die, and he's got a chip. Does not succeed, but he's going to spend his chip and move up into first place. So Disco Stew, he leads through lap 22, and lap 23 we will have a new leader. And on the smart check, Cacciola, he fails his check, but he'll spend a performance chip and knock Snook off. And that's going to do it. So our new leader, Carrie K-Fab Cacciola, lap 23. And we are coming down the home stretch, folks. And 2 and a 6, that's top group again, reflex check. So a lot of action going on up top. And Big Sky Montana is going to get first crack at the lead. And he does have a performance chip, which he would like to keep. A blue 1 is not going to get it done, though. So he will have to burn that. And he is temporarily in the lead. Disco Stew Urich. Looking to reclaim his spot at the top, and 2, not going to get it done on the blue die or the red die. And the Snooker, he has a 6, fails a gas pedal check. Donnie Schrupp does not have it. Julie Justice does, and Justice, she is about due. And 5, and that's exactly what it took to knock Montana out of there. So we have a new leader, and it is the Queen of SCRAM, Julie Justice, once again. So lap 24 now. And coming up on 5 laps to go, and this has just been typical of Justice. She hangs around, makes a move late, and this will be the 3rd group. This will be the star quality. So double star for Marlon McGarry down there. And he's going to probably use this to hopefully his advantage. He has a tough nut to crack, though, as he needs a 6 on the blue die. And he gets it, but fails the gas pedal check. Heartbreak. And not going to get it done. Wow. It's a great opportunity for McGarry, but he is going to be stuck down in purgatory. And that brings us up to Gary Pine going after the middle group now. And Pine going after 4 even, and that is going to be Kenny Hicks. And he's going to bounce Hicks back to 33rd, which is where you would expect him to be. And Trevor Trostel, he is a double star, so he can make a big run here. He fails his gas pedal check on the first one, however. Second one, not going to be a problem, and he's going to knock Parnell Drake back into 32nd place. So the Terminator coming back from a lap down and now putting himself in a spot to make a run as we wind down the Lit Energy Drink 600 here. Pete McAtee. And McAtee going after the 5th spot, Graham Pleasant, and Pleasant does have the star quality, so he's going to fight him off. Jeff Daly Jr. next. And he goes after 3 odd, Austin Bigler, and a 3 on the blue die, just going to be enough. And Daly squeezes right by him on the outside, and we pass Mooch Thomas and Joey Plonka to Chris Wynn. And Wynn going after Kevin Pettis, and Pettis just recently got that spot. He's going to lose it. So Wynn's quietly having a good race as well. He's kind of been bouncing back and forth around the middle and bottom group, but manages to find his way up there consistently. Denny Baker. And Baker going after Mark Forth, who has kind of been inconspicuous in 18th place and not going to be able to hang on to that spot, however, as Dangerous Denny moves up into the middle group. Jason Leonard, and Leonard's been all over in this race, not going to get it done. And Sonny Swain. Swain going after Pam Croyle, and Croyle, he has 2. He's not going to be able to fight her off, though. And Sonny Swain makes her first appearance in the middle group. And that is going to do it. And we are at turn 25. 2 turns away from a pit, 5 turns from the end of the race, and the Queen of Scram. At it again, Julie Justice, and we have a duel. And that is going to be the number 3 car in the top group. So Donnie Schrupp, and Schrupp, honestly, he has nothing to lose at this point. He's going after Tafaro, and he gets it done. So Schrupp gets a performance chip, and Tafaro needs to make an escape check and does not. So Tafaro, and we are in the final third, and on a duel, pit crew of C. Final third, it's going to take a 5 to keep him in the race, and say goodbye to Chuck Tafaro. So Tafaro knocked out, and that is going to cause a feud between him and Donnie Schrupp. And in all high likelihood that this will subside, as Schrupp qualifying is something that is not always a guarantee, as you know. So we will have movement there, and Aaron Hartley would love to move up into that top group without blowing his performance chip, and he does so. Trevor Trostel continues to inch closer, and the Terminator setting up his prey in that top group for a late run, should he get the opportunity. And coming up from the bottom group, Brooks Bilovich, who has had a less than stellar race thus far. Mooch Thomas continues to just hang around and creep up. And he knows he's not going to win, but he would love to be in that final race of the SCRAM season as we head to turn 26 and 1 turn away from a pit stop. And bottom group, and we've had a lot of action in the bottom group in this one. This will be a reflex check. And looking to get back on the top lap, Sean Hashhagen, and again, going to be a tall order. It's going to take a 6 on the blue die. No, does not get it done. Evan High-Tech UTech. Nope. And Robbie Petrosky. At least everyone is going to get a shot here. And Petrosky, no. Greg Carl. Carl doesn't pass the gas pedal check even. And finally, Vic Holder. And Holder would have got it done, but he fails the gas pedal check with a 5. Tough break for you, Vic. And Kenny Hicks now looking to move back up into the middle group, and he does not pass the gas pedal check. We go down to Parnell Drake, and Drake does. And Drake is going after Gary Pine, and Pine has the reflex trait, but not able to fight him off, as Drake, the veteran, bounces back up into the middle group. And Austin Bigler next. Bigler fails his gas pedal check. He's kind of had a rough race. Joey Plonka. Plonka fails his gas pedal check. Kevin Pettis Pettis does not fail his, and he's coming up, and he is taking Tom Rossi's place up there. So Pettis continues to fight to give some form of redemption to the Pettis clan in this one as Cam Croyle takes the final turn, and Croyle goes after Chris Wynn, and a roll of 4 on the blue die is going to get it done for Cam. So there we have it, and we head into turn 27, our final pit stop here. And here we go. Triple sixes, so that is TV drivers and lead driver if a TV driver. Julie Justice is not. And doubles is also going to be a pit violation, so we will resolve that first. So TV drivers, not sure how you would resolve that with the TV drivers. Hold on. It's going to be interesting. All right, so we'll just do it this way. We'll count from, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these guys will be ineligible, so basically it'll be 1, 2, 3. So if we get a 3 or 1, 2, or 3, it'll be one of those guys. 4, 5, or 6, nobody. So no one's going to be affected by the pit violation, as that is something that really does not come up very much. So we will now roll for performance chips. Our TV driver, starting off with Trevor Trostel, he gets his, and that is going to be huge. Jeff Daly Jr. needs a 9, he's got it. Parnell Drake needs a 5, and he does not get it, and bottom group is ineligible to roll. So heading out of the pits, let's see who our challenger is going to be. That'll be the 5-car Kerry Cacciola. And no chips up there, and Cacciola just needs a 5 or better, and he has done it and bumped the Queen of SCRAM back into 6th place. So Justice, she leads up through lap number 27, and Cacciola, as we come out of the pits, lap 28, will be our new leader. And would it be something if Cacciola could win his first race of the season here? We do have a couple of performance chips, including one by Donnie Schrupp, and that would be an underdog story for sure. 5 goes down to our bottom group again, and 8 is going to be a control check. And so on that, McGarry trying desperately to get back on the top lap, and Cacciola has 4 in terms of brake pedal defense, so a 5 on the blue die is going to be needed. Not going to get it done there. Sean Hashhagen, no. And Carl, no. And nobody else has that there. So those guys look like they are going to finish a lap down, barring some type of miracle. It'll have to come on the next lap because the bottom group does not factor into the final lap if a 5 comes up. And looking to move up, Kurt Bryson, he is going after the number 4 spot odd, Graham Pleasant, and a 4 on the blue die. And that is going to get it done. So Bryson back up into the middle group now. And Gary Pine, and Pine has continued to bounce around, and he's going after the 5th spot odd, Ray Bob Walker, and Walker has control and 2 brake pedals, but a 5 on the blue die is going to knock him back. So Ray Bob Dixie Walker back into the bottom group. Pete McAtee fails the gas pedal check. Austin Bigler, he's had a tough time, and Mooch Thomas, Mooch, you need a 2, and does not get it, so Thomas is going to have to roll, and So on this, on the final lap with a pit grade of E, Thomas, actually going to be a problem because he failed his roll. So Thomas has no opportunity to save it. So Moochomania comes to an end. 28 laps into this one. He's going to finish in 39th place. And we'll do a roll just to see exactly what his problem was. 62. I guess I do track all this stuff. 62 clutch problem. So clutch knocks Mooch Thomas out. And again, the underfunding does Mooch Mania in, but he did give the fans what they came to see, and that was 28 laps of a 30-lap race. So everybody will move up. And Joey Plonka goes next. Plonka. And he's going after the third spot even. That's Jeff Daly Jr. And a 3 is going to be enough to get it done and force Daly to spend a performance chip. Mark 4th next. And 4th going after the 5th spot, Odd. And Baker's going to fight that off with a brake pedal. Jason Leonard. And Leonard, he's going to get back up there. A successful challenge over Kevin Pettis. And Pettis has fought hard, but he just keeps getting bumped back. And KJ Nakashima, we haven't heard a lot from him today. He's going after the 3rd spot, Odd Parnell Drake. And Drake does not have the control quality, so Nakashima is going to use some exceptionally skillful driving to pass him on the blue 1. And get back up into that middle group. And the Alabama badass, Billy Brett. And he's going after 5th spot, Denny Baker. Baker fights him off with a brake pedal, and that does it. So lap 29, and we have 2 laps to go. Cacciola the leader, Schrupp and Hartley, excuse my voice, 2 youngsters with brake pedal or with performance chips up at the top. And this is going to be the top group, and this will be a control check. So we are going to have a new leader, and it's going to be one of the young guns. This will be interesting. So to pass Cacciola, and Cacciola here, it will take a 5 or better on the blue die to pass without using a performance chip. And Hartley, he gets the gas pedal, he gets it done and gets to keep his performance chip, and that is going to be huge. Absolutely huge. As next up will be Julie Justice, and Justice, now she has double control, so she is in an excellent spot here. And 5 passes the gas pedal check, and she gets it done. So Hartley will have to spend his performance chip, and she's going to take another run at him, and not going to get it done there, as the brake pedal bonus is able to fight her off. Disco Stu Urich, and Urich, no, Clark Snook. Snook has a double control as well, and Snook fails the gas pedal check. He's going to take another run. Can Hartley hold him off twice? 4? No, he cannot. And Wayne Montana now. A lot of jockeying up front. This is getting exciting. Montana fails the gas pedal check. And look what we have here. Donnie Schrupp. What an underdog story this would be. And he fails, but he's going to spend that performance chip. And Donnie Schrupp is going to lead the race. Unbelievable. So 28 and 29. And Schrupp jumping into the lead on lap number 30. Can he hang on as we come down the home stretch here? And this is how the last lap will work. If it's obviously 1 or 2 top group and a 5, the bottom group won't factor into this challenge. So a 1, 2, or a 5 is the only way that Schrupp can get challenged. And if we get a 3, 4, and potentially a 6, And that is going to be a duel, and 6 on the duel. And that is the number 6 car in the top group. So this is what it's going to come down to. Last lap, Cacciola trying to come up from the outside, and he can challenge the leader on the last lap on a duel, but Schrupp gets to use his performance bonuses to fight it off, or brake pedal bonuses. So basically it is going to be a 3 or more on the blue die. Schrupp and Cacciola coming down the home stretch. Here they come, coming up on the finish line. Schrupp trying to get outside, or Cacciola trying to get outside. Schrupp blocks him. Cacciola slips down to the inside. Here he comes, and down the stretch, and does not get it done. Donnie Schrupp holds off Kerry Cacciola at the very end of the race to win by a nose. And a big upset in this one. The underdog also ran. The basically journeyman race car driver Donnie Schrupp has overcome all odds to win the Lit Energy Drink 600, and the crowd is going absolutely crazy in this one. So the 49 car, his first win of the season, and a huge upset, fighting off Julie Justice in that last turn, and wow, Wayne Montana, and finally a intense duel down the back stretch coming up to the finish line between Schrupp and Cacciola, and Schrupp somehow manages to coax his car across. So that is it. The Lit Energy Drink 600 is in the books, and your winner, and this is definitely going to warrant a big TV story next week in several of the pre-race shows. Lit Energy Drink 600 champion Donnie Schrupp in second place, the snooker Clark Snook, and that's going to tighten things up at the top and should actually vault him ahead of Julie Justice, who had an 11-point lead coming in. Wayne Big Sky Montana third, another young upstart Aaron Hartley in fourth. Disco Stu Urich continues his solid run in fifth place. Sixth place will be Julie Justice. Kerry Cacciola gave it a valiant try, but just couldn't get it done. Finishes in seventh. And rounding out the top 10 are Jason Leonard, who ran a very solid race, Monica Merrick, and Sonny Swain. With Trevor Trostel sitting with a wasted performance chip in the 11th spot. Muchamania had another appearance here. Unfortunately, his clutch went out with just 2 laps to go. Poor guy. And a huge pileup in the bottom row. We saw 6 drivers finish a lap down, including Marlon McGarry, Sean Hashhagen, Evan Utek, Robbie Petrosky, and Greg Karlvik Holder. So from the Eastern Seaboard Speedway, that's it. And again, have a happy 4th of July, everyone. And until next time, when we will be back with a Ferguson Jenkins start and his replay, have a great 4th of July. Keep rolling for the finish line, and we will see you.